Okay, now I want everyone to, we'll share the screen. Pull up Galatians, Galtins, Galatians 4, chapter 4, verse 21 through 24. And we'll share the screen so everybody gets a chance to see. All right, here we go. Who's on? All right. So who would like to read verses 21 through 24? Can I have a volunteer, please?
Just tell me, you who want to be under the law, are you not aware of what the law says? For it is written that Abraham had two sons, one by the slave woman and the other by the free woman. His son by the slave woman was born according to the flesh, but his son by the free woman was born as a result of a divine promise. These things have been taken figurative. The woman represents two covenants. One covenant is from Mount Sinai and bears the children who are to be slaves. This is Hagar.
Okay, so first of all, man, you should be doing some audio books or some kind of voiceovers for commercials or something, or doing some late night radio, man, because you got it. Man, you got the voice for real. Oh, will you pull that back up, please? So thank you for that. Now, so I have this up, and I want everybody to see it again so that you can see something. And the 24th verse, it says, these things are to be taken what? Did anybody catch what that word is after taken? What is that word? Anybody? What does that mean?
It shouldn't be taken literally. It's not. You shouldn't take it as face value. You have to, there's a deeper meaning to it, a different meaning to it.
Exactly. So that means they're only telling you this esoterically because esoterically they're trying to tell you something else. So that means everything they just told you right now is not literal. They're not talking about anyone literal or anything literal. They're using a story to tell you something through the story. These things are being taken figuratively. In some translations, it says allegorically. In some, it says, I write that down. Symbolically. These are, so when we talk about rightly dividing the word of truth, this is one version of it. When we talk about the understanding of exoteric, what is being said versus what is meant, here's another version of it, right? So I'm showing you in this book that they're saying that this whole thing is a collection of stories that is trying to tell you the truth through the stories. They're not to be taken literally. They're to be taken figuratively so that you understand not just what they said, but most and more importantly, what they mean by what they're saying. Why are they telling you this story? What is it for? What's the point? And so a lot of us miss things because, like I said, we've been educated to listen, but we have not been taught how to learn. We've been told what to think. We have not been taught how to think. So we are not able to rightly divide the word of truth. We just hear something, we think it's all true or it's not true. We don't realize that the truth may be in the middle, meaning it may be not true on the surface, but what they're saying, the meaning of what they're saying is true, right? They're saying that this is a representation of something. The women represent. So they're saying this story represents, it means this, right? So I want you to see, we're going step by step so we understand something because we're building up. Okay, so now please turn to, so hold on. So does anybody have any questions so far? Because I want to make sure everyone is with me. Okay, I assume that's a no. So let's go to Genesis chapter 25, verse 23 through 26. 25, yeah, verse 23. So I need someone to read this. I need a volunteer. Who's going to take it?
I got it.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so we got Genesis 25, verses 23 to 26.
Yes, sir.
The Lord said to her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you will be separated. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger. When the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first to come out was red, and his whole body was like a hairy garment. So they named him Esau. After this, his brother came out with his hand grasping Esau's heel. So he was named Jacob. Let's see here, just lost this. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah gave birth to them. The boys grew up, and Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau, but Rebekah loved Jacob.
Okay, that's good. Perfect. So, what we have here is a prediction of the future. It's not a prediction, it's a fact. But what I'm showing you here is there are 4 people really involved. There is Isaac, who is Esau and Jacob's father. There's Esau, who's the oldest brother. Jacob is the youngest brother, and Rebekah is their mother, is Esau and Jacob's mother, right? Will you put it back for me? No, okay. So, I want everybody to understand that. So Isaac is the father. Esau is the oldest brother, and he's hairy. Jacob is the younger brother, and he's hairless. Rebekah is the mother. Okay, so now all of this is leading up. This is the first story we're going to look at. So I'm going to tell it to you, but you guys can look at, start in Genesis chapter 27. If you guys want to kind of just follow along, I'm just going to paraphrase. Just in the interest of time, I'm just going to paraphrase because I'm going to give you a couple stories for you to be able to understand what I want you to understand today. So, if anybody remembers from last week, what does the personification of male, not man, because man is male and female. That's what the word man means. But the personification of male in this book. Does anybody know what that, remember well, I'll change it. So Isaac the father, if you follow in this story on chapter 27, this father is blind. The father is blind. Isaac is blind, right? So what happens is you guys can read it on your own and stuff like that, but the point of the story is this. Esau is what we call humanity. It's reality. It's what we see right now. Jacob, so that's why Esau's hairy. It's a reflection of the physical world. Jacob is hairless. The word Jacob, Esau means hairy. The word Jacob means supplanter. It means the person who's going to take over. That's why when we read the earlier ones, he said, the younger one's going to take over, is going to rule. That's what they're talking about. Esau is what you would call the outer man, the person you can see. Jacob is the inner man, your true you. It's the one that always wants to striving higher for greater and bigger and larger expression. That's what you have desires for. Every one of those desires is like Jacob, is desiring to become more than your Esau now. You're both Esau and Jacob. You're Esau right now in your physical form, what you are in human reality right now. Your Jacob is your desire. It is the being in you that desires to supplant, to be more than your Esau right now, more than what you are right now. So when you desire to be healthier or wealthier or happier, when you desire to be anything, it is your Jacob. Jacob is the part of you that is invisible. That's why it's hairless. It's invisible. It's the younger you. It's the one that's sitting in the back. Esau's the older brother. So he's the one that everyone sees. But your Jacob in you is the one that's now trying to come to the forefront because it wants to express more. So when you become your Jacob, it means you've now become your desire. You've now stepped in front of what you used to look like, and now you look like this. That's what this story is about. So Isaac basically is getting older. And so he says to his son Esau, the oldest one, in a lot of cultures, the older siblings get the authority as it's passed down, right? So as Isaac is getting older and he realizes he's dying, he tells Esau, hey, look, he brings him into the tent and he says, hey, I'm getting older. Time is almost up. I want you to go out into the, and hunt and basically find me a good meal to eat. So I can be almost like a death row prisoner, like for my last meal. Find me something good to eat. So then when you come back, I can give you the blessing. How do I want to say that? So he's talking to Esau. Jacob and the mother hears. Jacob wants to be more. but he's stuck behind his brother. So we want to be more, but we're stuck behind what we are, what we see ourselves to be right now. So Jacob says, he's listening, but he doesn't have a plan. The mother comes. The mother says, hey, if you remember in that last part that you read, Isaac, was really fond of Esau and things like that. But the mother, Rebecca, loved Jacob. Rebecca, the mother, represents one of the first definitions. If you remember last week when I first started, I was talking to you about a couple different things. Women a lot of times are personified with emotion, in emotion. Men are usually personified with thought, with seed and soil, right? Seed and womb. One is put into something else, and it is clothed and birthed, right? So the woman, the emotion, she said to him, hey, I heard your dad talking to your brother, and I know you want to be more than what you are, but you're not going to get this blessing if you feel like you feel, because you're the younger brother. It's not your right. So I have a plan for you. Go out and I'm going to get some of your brother's clothes. You go out and basically shear some sheep so that you can put the sheep's wool on your arms so that you can feel like your brother. And I'm going to get your clothes. And so that, your brother's clothes, so you can put them on you. So then what you're going to do is so basically what she was doing was she was showing him how to feel like his brother in order to get the blessing. So he told her, well, man, if I get caught, I'm gonna get killed for this. She said, don't worry about it. If anything happens, it'll be on me. Emotion, right? So now she's being used as, this is the part of you, this emotion, this is the part of you that you have to bring to the Father, which we'll get to in a second. So he's already the supplanter. That means he's the desirer. He represents desire to be more than what he is. Esau represents reality right now, what you're looking at right now. So she gets the clothes. He goes out and puts all the lamb stuff all on his hands and wrists and everything like that. Esau is gone. So he walks in with the food. His mom gave him some food, and he walked into his dad. And his dad now, remember, is blind, right? So his dad says, hey, who is it? And he said, oh, it's me, Esau, your son. And he said, man, you sound like Jacob. He was like, well, come close so I can feel you. So he goes close to him. And then he rubs him and he says, wow, you sound like Jacob, but you feel like Esau. So, okay, let's eat. So they started eating. So then after that, he says, well, come close so I can kiss you. I can hug you and kiss you. So he goes close and he said, okay, well, so then he basically, essentially, he gives him the blessing. He says, hey, the authority now goes to you. Now, Isaac is blind. So have you ever heard like Lady Justice is blind, right? Or the law is blind. Or in this book, it also says the law is no respecter of persons. What it's trying to tell you is what people they think is like a lie. They're like, oh, he's lying, or that's exoterically. They're telling you a story. But what they mean by it is this. When you want to be something, you have two things. You have a thought, right? And you have the desire, right? You have which is reflected in emotion. Desire to be something, the feeling that goes with that thought. So you have the father and the mother. This is how they're telling you how to be what you want to be, how to not be bound by being younger, meaning bound by the older brother. You don't have to be bound by what you are physically experiencing right now. That is your Esau. It's using Jacob to tell you how to supplant that. What it's saying to you is you go to the Father. Well, who is the Father in this book? It's God, essentially, right? It's I am. It's your consciousness. It's your consciousness. You go to your consciousness, which is blind. It's not a respecter of persons. It doesn't care. It doesn't care what you are. It only cares how you approach it, what you proclaim yourself to be. It will give you anything that you can think and feel yourself to be. It does not have to be true in the real world. It doesn't have to be externally true. But all you have to do is assume you are something and feel like the person you're assuming you are, whether it's what you are, what you have, or what you're doing. And so that's why the mother stopped him and said, look, I know you have a desire, I know you have a thought, but just the thought alone doesn't work. So that's why affirmations don't work for most people, because it's just a thought. They're just repeating a thought, but there's no feeling in it. And I don't mean hysteria. I don't mean falling down, sweating, burning candles and yelling at everybody and saying it over and over and over till you pass out. No, it means there is no feeling that's associated with that desire. When you have a desire to win the lottery, if you won it, how would that feel? There would be a natural feeling that goes with that. If you got a new job that you really wanted, how would that feel? That would feel different than winning a lottery. If you got a new car, it would feel different than getting a new job. If you wanted to be in a happy relationship, that would feel different. Each thought has its own corresponding feeling. But you have to approach your consciousness by saying, right now I'm Esau. Right now I am working at Walmart. I want to work on Wall Street. So then right now Esau is telling you, man, it ain't happening. This is reality. Look at reality. You're not the person that deserves this blessing. You're not older. You're not next in line. But you're Jacob. Your inner self, your desire is Jacob, to supplant what you are, to go past Walmart into Wall Street. And how do you do that? Well, with a thought, your desire, right? Your thought and your desire, the emotion of that thought. So you're now coming to your consciousness and saying, okay, let's say so you go to your consciousness with that thought. And so you usurp it, or you supplant it by changing your identity, in the sense of you now go from, hey, I'm Jacob. I'm now going to feel myself to be reality now. I'm going to feel myself to be Esau. I'm going to present myself as Esau to the blind law, to the father. So right now I am is working at Walmart. This is Esau. This is reality. This is what's happening to you right now. What you want to do is now overcome that, because you have a desire. You want to supersede that because you have a desire. So what you do now is you say, well, Jacob now has to become Esau. Jacob has to become reality. So what is Jacob's reality? That he must present with thought and feeling to consciousness, to my awareness. Well, I am working on Wall Street. So now I am is working at Walmart. Jacob, in order to change his reality, to usurp or supplant Esau, has to say, now I am is my awareness. I am now aware of being or doing or having. I am working on Wall Street. I'm now doing that now. That's now who I am. I am now presenting myself to the Father to get this blessing. I'm presenting myself to my awareness. I'm changing my outfit, what I think and feel myself to be. I am now going to present myself as Esau. I'm going to present my desire as reality now. The blind father doesn't know which one you are. So it has to feel you. It cannot just hear you. You cannot just say, I am rich, 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 It doesn't work like that. You have to, that's one thing you do. That's the thought. But that's why the mom stopped him and said, wait a minute. Let me help you. Go out. She had the idea. Her love for him was expressed in emotion. So she gave him the emotion that you also need to present with the idea. So when you go to the law of consciousness, I am, that is the blind father. It's blind. It doesn't have anything attached to anything. So when you approach it, you have to announce yourself to be Esau, right? And the reality now that you desire to express. By now claiming yourself to be on Wall Street, so to speak, right? Or wealthy, or healthy, or whatever it is, whatever thing that you want to usurp or supplant in your life. You have to do that with thought and feeling, by now claiming yourself to be in reality right now. He didn't say, well, I'm going to be Esau. So we're not going to say, I'm going to be wealthy. If you're going to be Esau, you're not Esau. So tell Esau to come in here. You're going to stay as you are. So what the story is trying to tell you is how to become what you want when circumstances in front of you say you have to remain as you are because you're the younger brother and you don't deserve the blessing. It is telling you that in order to get the blessing from the law, from the blind father, from Lady Justice, from the blind father, from consciousness, right? The law of mind, in order to become what you want, you have to take that thought and feeling of being what you are to your consciousness by now saying, I am this thing. Whether it's I am being, I'm doing, I'm having. Now, who is it? It's Esau. Not it's going to be Esau once this hair dries. Not it's going to be Esau once these clothes fit a little better. It is going to, I am Esau now. Your consciousness does not know, or meaning it does not care what you present yourself to be. That's the law. That's your salvation. That's why it says, I am the way. I am the way. I am the truth. I am the life. Your I amness, your consciousness, I am, is the way. It's the way out. It's the way in. It's the way up. It's the way down. It is the way. It is the truth. It is the life. It is the light. It is your salvation. It is the way you get from Walmart to Wall Street. It doesn't matter that you're the younger. It doesn't matter that you don't have the hair. The feeling is what you use with the thought. You bring both of those two together in consciousness by now assuming yourself to be. When you're doing that, your awareness is always asking you who you are. And you're always proclaiming it. I am this, I am that, I'm sore, I'm sad, I'm sick, I'm rich, I'm tired, I am going to work. We're always proclaiming ourselves to be in a state of something. And so our blind father is always blessing us according to the state that we're proclaiming and feeling ourselves to be. So that's what this story is. That's what they're trying to tell you, is how to overcome your present state and to let you know that you can at any time, anything, any way, as long as you know how to do that. That's what this story is about.